Winter is coming here in the Pacific Northwest, and I've been getting chilly. And if you're like me, you may have been struggling to find smart heating solutions for your home, specifically smart thermostats that are compatible if you have baseboards or, for example, like me, force fan heating solutions. These solutions pump heat through your house. However, they're often controlled by just two wires, which is a big restriction in smart thermostat solutions. My thermostats today are these kind of old, super old school, on, off, maybe it's working, maybe it's not working solutions that are like $10 and they're really not great and you have no control over them at all. Well, our good friends over at Sinope sent us their smart heating solution that only requires two wires. That's right, two wires to work, and is powered by either Wi-Fi or Zigbee. So today I want to unbox, break down everything, and go through an installation and break down my full review. So tune in. Hey everyone, I'm James, and today we are talking about Sinope. Yes, Sinope is a company based out of Canada that you may not have heard of if you're like me down in the States, that offer up smart home solutions, and specifically really great ones that solve a lot of problems that I have. And specifically, we're talking about their smart thermostat solution that can work off of just two wires. Now, why is this so important? Well, previously I used to have like an Ecobee in my house, and that would be hooked up to my HVAC, and then I have a C wire coming in that's powering the entire solution. And in the current place that we're at, we have these force fan cadets, and I'm going to put a video up here so you can kind of see what's going on here. But these force fan cadets basically are built into the wall. And the problem there is that when you go to open them up with these little turn dial thermostats, pretty much it's just two wires, and it's either on or off. There's no constant power being delivered to them, or no third or fourth wire, anything like that. Now, this is a real problem because there are many smart thermostat solutions, but many of them require more than two wires. Well, Sinope here, they were able to break it down into just two wires. I'm amazed by how this works, and we're going to open it up and break it down. Now, they were so kind to send me the starter kit and a few other cool little gadgets. So thanks to them. This is not sponsored at all. So this is my own peer review. They did not get to review this video at all ahead of time. So I'm real excited. It's of course smart, hooks into smart applications, and they have their own, the Neviweb application. But what I wanted to talk about, really why this is so important, is that it is an ecosystem around their products. They have all sorts of different products, from smart light switches, outlets, and a lot more. And they are able to be powered by either Zigbee, and they also have a hub, or just Wi-Fi directly. So what I want to do today is break it down, open it up, go through this starter kit that I'm really excited to open up for the first time, and then install it, and then give you my full review and show you how the application works. So this is going to be a long one. So grab some popcorn, grab a soda, make a coffee like I did, get ready for some goodness. So let's get into it. All right, here we have it. This is the electric heating starter kit. This is the Zigbee version. I think it's the only starter kit they have, but it's important because for Zigbee, you need a gateway, which this includes. It actually includes two smart thermostats. Here, this is for the 3000 watt. They do sell ones that are additionally higher. They're sold separately, but also comes with a gateway. This is what all the Zigbee devices are going to communicate with. This thing is plugged into Ethernet and talking to the internet, and your devices talk to it, including like the smart plug that comes with this starter kit, which is nice. So all three of the devices connect to and talk to one thing instead of connecting to the Wi-Fi separately. Now, regardless if you're doing different Wi-Fi or you're doing Zigbee, it'll be compatible with all the different features and different smart home integrations like Google Home, for example, or Echo things. Let's get into it. Here, it's really nice packaging. I really love this. It has two of the smart thermostats, and it's just really great design. I really love it. I'm excited to install this against the wall. It has two cords here. This is the single pole. They do make double pole, so if you have multiple there. And of course, this gives you additional information, such as the maximum load that I've talked about, and some additional patents and things like that that you might need to know. There's some pairing information codes on there, but I didn't need to use them at all during the install. But you have a little faceplate here that you take on and off to install it into the wall. Now, we're going to install that, but I want to go through everything else, including this little smart plug. Now, I've had some smart plugs in the past that are Wi-Fi. They're okay, but I have a bunch of different apps. This is going to be nice. This is just included. Maybe a Christmas tree, for example, put on some timers. That'll be really nice to have so I can turn it on and off. So love that it's included there. Now, additionally, what I really like is the gateway. It's actually really small, sleek. This is the thing that's going to be connected to the internet and it's going to be what your smartphone or the service talks to, and all the devices will talk to this. Now it is connected via Ethernet, so you're going to need to have a spot on your router or switch available, and that's what it's going to communicate to. So that's pretty much it for what's in the box, but I think there's some other things in here. So let's go ahead and get into the packaging underneath because I hear some rattling. Let's go ahead and open it up and see what is inside. What goodies do we have in here? Well, we have a power cord, of course, for the gateway, which is very important. And of course, we have a nice Ethernet cable to plug that to the router and a little dock. I do like that. So you can just put it right in there. Good to go. Then additionally, some screws and some nuts in there. So we're going to hook that up when we install it. So everything you need to get started, includes some installation guides in case you want to do it yourself. But of course, you can always, and highly recommend, contact a professional. So we have our devices, but this is part of a bigger ecosystem that Sinope has. They sent me some additional devices, such as this smart light switch that you can install. Those are pretty cool. You do need a neutral wire for them, but it is nice if you have them because it'll connect into the Neviweb or other smart home integrations. Now, not only do they have light switches, they have smart dimmers too. This is really cool. And I like the different colors that are available on there. We kind of can set those in the app, which is nice. And they're really compatible with all different things. So whether it's dimmable LEDs or different lights that you have, they can support different loads. So definitely take a look at those. Those are nice. And the light switches also support three-way too. So that's kind of cool. So they sent me some of those, but there's a lot other things that Sinope does, including the smart water heater controller. You can actually connect this to your electric water heater if it's compatible, and it will monitor and help you save money on it. This is cool. It's called the Calypso. And they have heated floorboard sensors and monitors as well, and outlets. So all sorts of stuff. And again, this is a great big ecosystem that Sinope has. But let's go ahead and install this puppy. I'm ready. Let's install our thermostat. Okay, so the very first thing you're going to want to do, of course, is turn off the power at the breaker. That's super important when doing anything in electrical work at all. So turn on your heater, turn off the breaker. It should turn off. Of course, you also want to double check that with a voltage meter as well. Of course, if you're unsure about all of this, contact a professional. Always contact a professional. Don't sue me. I told you to do it if you're not comfortable doing this. So contact an electrician, certified. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and take off the old thermostat. This is pretty simple. And of course, when I do this, a few important things that I want to do are pull it out and double check the wires and make sure everything's there. And we see we have two wires that are connected. So these are just out there. And what is important that I'm going to do is double check to make sure that I don't have power and I don't electrocute myself with this voltage meter, little handheld thing that you can get on like Home Depot or Amazon. I'll put a link in the show notes there. So if that doesn't turn red, then I'm good to go. I'm not going to zap myself. I'm going to take off the old wires. And I always like to quadruple check. I don't know. I don't trust anything ever. So I'm just going to take it off. And you can see there's two wires. So those are the two wires in which I am going to connect up the Sinope smart thermostat. Now, it doesn't really matter what order I put them in because there's not really like a line load situation. It's either on, off, and it doesn't really matter. There's no polarity that's happening here. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the included screws, connector bolts, nuts thingies that it gave me. And I'm just going to screw as much as I possibly can on it. And I'm going to do the same for the other side. So if you've installed anything electrical before, like outlets or things like that, it's going to be exactly the same. And I'm just going to go ahead and install it and put it in here. And that's pretty much it. So pretty straightforward as far as the installation, since there is only two. If you have more wires back there connected, you might have a dual pole. And of course, they do sell those models too. So you want to do that. But here, I just got a single polarity, a single pole, and it's good to go. So I'm just going to put this back into the wall. This took me it took me a ridiculous amount of time. It took so long. I'm speeding this up by like 5 billion%. To be honest with you, it took me the longest. It's not Sinope's fault. It's my fault because I have this like tiny little screwdriver. I couldn't find my other screwdriver, but pretty much you want to line it up. The screws align with standard outlets, things like that. And you just put this little faceplate back on. I struggled a little bit with it, so maybe that's Sinope's fault, or me fault probably, but you're good to go. Then after that, you turn back on the power and it will boot right up. So this is pretty cool. It's just going to boot right into the main mode that is set up and start to read the temperatures, and you can set it automatically. So of course, this isn't connected yet to the Zigbee setup or anything like that, but it's going to turn on. It's going to check everything. And then what it's going to do is, there we go, 21.5, which is the temperature inside the house of the thermostat. Of course, I want to change it to Fahrenheit because I'm here in the States and I do only Fahrenheit. But if you love Celsius, that's the default. So there you go. Let me zoom in a little bit close here and kind of give you a drive-by. It's a really nice looking device from top to bottom. So there you have it. Now let's go ahead and get it set up in the app. Okay, we have the thermostat installed. Now from here, we can just use the thermostat as is, but of course you probably want to adjust some of the settings, and of course you want to make it smart. You want to see it from your smartphone, you want to connect it to the web, and of course you want to do some automations as well. This is where that gateway comes in. So you're going to want to plug that gateway directly into your router, for example. That's where I plugged mine in. And then we're going to need to install the Neviweb app from the App Store on iOS or on Android. Now, once we do this, this is what is going to enable us to walk through the steps to create an account and then add our devices to our home. So let's go ahead and bring up the Neviweb app. Now here it is. Now I, of course, have all of my different devices that I've now set up inside of here. But when you get to the Neviweb app over here, you can tap on this bottom area, and that's going to bring us into our devices. And we have rooms, we have types in here, and we have all. So here's everything installed. So when we want to get up and running, we're going to hit this Add Device button here. And this is pretty good. It's going to walk us through the process of what do we have. So I'm going to select Thermostat. And you have a lot of options because there are a lot of options. Now, I mentioned that this is the Zigbee option. So this is me going and actually setting up the Zigbee option. Of course, if I have the Wi-Fi option, I would go ahead and select the Wi-Fi option here. So you're going to want to find your model that's in here, and you're going to look at the packaging in here. So I know this is the 123 ZB. So we're going to go ahead and do this. Now at this point, this is going to walk us through the process of adding this specific device. So this will walk us through a few of the steps to do so. So we're going to have to first go over to our Zigbee gateway. We're going to go ahead and click that little button on the bottom. So you're going to run downstairs if you're there. You're going to go over to your smart thermostat and press both buttons at the same time. Boom. Now this is going to go and it's going to go ahead and search for the device. Now from here, what's going to happen is it's going to find your device, hopefully and ideally, because they're in pairing mode, and it's going to walk you through a few additional steps to not only connect it up fully, but it's going to also tell you once you've finished to go click that button again on your Zigbee gateway. Now, if you're installing multiple of these devices, you can do them all at the same time. You can click that little button that's right here on that little Zigbee gateway, and then you can go ahead and pair up multiple things. This is super nice if you are, for example, going and installing multiple light switches or multiple thermostats. So it times out at some point, but it's way better than going up and down the stairs, up and down the stairs. So once you have things connected here, we can go in and we can see the device. So from here, you can go ahead and tap on one. So here we go. I've tapped on my main bedroom thermostat that we have installed. We can see the current temperature. We can also see the current setting that I have it on. So right now I basically have it off because it's at 50 degrees, which is nice. You can tap on this heating and you can actually turn it off. So now it's completely off 100%. So if I go ahead and tap on that and tap on the off, now it's 100% off, which is really, really nice. You can, of course, turn it back to heating and then adjust that temperature to your comfort level set. Now, there's a few other options that you're going to want to dive into. You actually have a few options down here at the bottom. So the first one here is this little settings. So this is going to enable us to name the device, give it a room. This is nice if you have multiple of their devices in the same room, and also add it to the favorite tab. Now here I've enabled onto here this little question mark, and this is kind of nice because you have a little pop down here. You can enable that by hitting the flyout, going into account settings, display options, and turning on the tooltip here. That's also very, very nice. So you can see that there. And of course, you can adjust your different temperature units, language, time format as well. So you can do that there. So again, when I'm in my settings, we'll also want to look at the configuration. So what's really cool is you can set what the secondary display is displaying. So you can do outdoor temperature, set point, whatever you're setting it to, or automatic. You can change the different units, the format that's on there. You can see if the backlight is always on or off. You can even do a keypad like unlock mode. So if you don't want your kids turning up things up and down, you can actually disable that. You can set maximum and minimum points on there, which is really nice. And the load connected here is going to tell me the load automatically. Some of the devices read it, or you can enter that. And that's really nice because there is a way specifically to see the usage in your house of all your devices. Now under advanced, this one's actually pretty important. This is the long cycle and short cycle. So based on what you're installing, you'll either want short cycles or long cycles. So for baseboards or convector controlled devices, the short cycle is what they recommend. For electric floor with mechanical relays, or in my case, the forced fan, you want long cycles. You don't want it to be pulsating. You want the longer cycles of it to get up to temp and then wait for it to get back down. So that's what you're going to want to do there. So those are all the different settings there. And once you're all set up, you can control it right from here. You can also go and tap on this little history tab, which is nice. And you can see the dollar amounts that are spent over time. Here I can do the 30-day, for example. I can see the dollar amounts. I can see the kilowatt in here. That's kind of nice. The dollar amount is when you specify specifically what your kilowatt pricing is, pretty much, which is cool. And you can also do over 24 months too. So you can actually go and see where I use this, how much I use it, if it's up or down. I haven't been using it a lot yet, but I know soon I will, which is really, really great. Now, beyond that, you can also set up automations by hitting this little automation bot. And this is pretty cool. So for example, I've set up one here that every time it is 11 p.m., that it will go ahead and turn it to 50 degrees or basically off on there. Now, if you hit the see all, you can also add an automation. So this is nice. So there's lots of great options here for setting it based on time, sunset, and sunrise. So if you have devices in your house, or presence, if you're home or away, you can use geolocation as well for that. And then of course for a device. So for example, if you wanted to have an event where a light switch was turned on, for example, or pressed up, you could then adjust it basically however you want for a then action. So if I put light switch upstairs to press up, I could say, oh, go, and then set the thermostat to up or down or something like that, which is kind of cool. So you have a lot of these nice little options there that you can set in on the actual Neviweb application. Now that favorites is pretty important. That's one thing I really like. So if I hit the home tab here, we'll be able to see all of my favorites. So this is sort of up to you what you want to do, but you can see I have my different devices, my thermostat, some of my lights. You can long press on one to turn on and off the lights, which is kind of nice, or just click on one and go into it, because I did install some lights, which is really nice. But also notice that I have these scenes. Those are also pretty cool too. So if I tap on the little clapper down there, we'll see scenes. So this is nice if you want to set up a scene like watching TV, for example. So when I tap on the TV one, that's going to go in and that's going to set my living room and lights to 35% and my kitchen lights to off, for example. If I go back and I do bedtime upstairs, that's going to turn everything off. So if I long press on that, we can see it's going to turn all the lights off upstairs and downstairs, which is pretty cool. You can add scenes just like you're doing automation, and you can basically define different things that you want any of the different things to do, which are pretty cool. Now, beyond that, one thing that you might be interested in as well is going in and seeing not only the consumption of all of your devices, so we can tally up everything here by your kilowatt usage as well over the 30 days or the dollar amount. So you can see all of the devices that are going on here. You can also set up geofencing. So this is cool. You can activate it. So when you're at home, when you're away, it'll automatically detect that and set that up. And then finally down here, there's the connected platforms. So a lot of people might be asking, what if I have Apple HomeKit, Apple Home, or I've Google or Echo devices or SmartThings? Based on your Zigbee or Wi-Fi preferences of the devices you purchased, you will be able to enable these. So if I go into HomeKit here, we can actually see that nothing is compatible with HomeKit. And that's because the Zigbee protocol, and Apple doesn't support that from my understanding, at least today. If it was Wi-Fi, it would show up here. However, if I go into the Echo devices or the Google ones, we can actually see that all of the devices here are supported. So I could integrate this into my Google Home, and then I could share that easily out. One other thing I'll show you though, is that you don't need to necessarily integrate it into one of these ecosystems to share it with a family member. If you hit that triple tap here, we can see under account settings, if I scroll down, there is sub users. So you can go ahead and add other sub users to activate the device, right? Which is kind of cool. So here they're able to control the devices, they can navigate in the platform, but they can't modify the settings. So it's sort of just a modify only mode, or an interaction mode, as if they're in the house, which is kind of nice there too. So it's really, really cool. So that's pretty much it for the application. I would say that I'm relatively impressed. I don't necessarily know if it's the most beautiful application in the world that I've ever seen, but it's functional. It works. The automations work. The setup was relatively seamless, which was cool. And I kind of like that it has additional information in here. And I'm excited to see what the team does. There's also a web app version too, so you can actually access things from the web, the Neviweb application. So that's kind of cool also. So you can do it if you're like on your laptop, for example. So that's a really, really nice perk. So if you're not on your phone and you're on your laptop, you're good to go there. And you just log in with the same exact account. So I absolutely love that. Now I mentioned that I also set up a few different lights. I also have some 3-ways as well, which are also really nice. So I really like that. And also in the house are a bunch of dimmers. So I like that there's all the dimmers set up too. So overall, one thing that I gotta say in my overall review of the product, now that I have everything set up and have been using it for several weeks, is that I'm really in love with it. I mean, I love smart devices, but I love that these smart devices are super functional at the same time. One thing that my wife said right away was, wow, these devices look beautiful. It really makes our house kind of leveled up a game a little way. You know what I mean? Because when we have these sort of dials that are in there, they're fine. But having this nice display where I can see the temperature, I can see the actual temperature in the room, it really makes a difference. So much, I got to say, that I'm all in. So let me go ahead and grab over here what's going on. Since installing those devices, I've gone all in on the Sinope goodness. I've purchased 3 more, personally out of my own funds, 3 more of the smart thermostats. I absolutely love them, so I can maximize everywhere in the house. I've purchased 2 more of the smart plugs. So this is going to be great around the holiday times, or for when we go on holiday, we can turn things off automatically. And then I've even purchased some more smart switches to finalize some of the other areas in the house that I want. Another area that I've also purchased, which hasn't come in yet, I'm waiting for it to arrive, is a smart thermostat for heated floors. We just had heated floors installed in the bathroom as we were redoing them. And the one that came in was okay, but I wanted part of the whole ecosystem. I want it all integrated and I want it to look seamless. So I purchased one of those as well. Now I've yet to set up some of the water stuff that they've showed, but I'm interested in integrating those as well. So I'm all into this Zigbee sort of full smart home. If you only have 1 or 2 of these, then of course the Wi-Fi option is going to be spectacular to go that route. But since I have sort of racked up the Sinope products as much as I can, it's nice to have one central talking point on Wi-Fi while all of the devices are connecting over that Zigbee protocol. And it's all over the house. And it's a 2-story house, so it's a smaller house, so it's not ginormous, but I've had no issues as far as latency or anything like that. I've been really impressed by the devices that are there. They seem reasonably priced comparatively to other smart products out there. I know there's probably cheaper ones. I know there's more expensive ones, but these look great. The ecosystem's really good. And for the fact that it's really the only smart thermostat that I could find that really has those 2 wires. Now, finally, they do make 4 wires, so dual pole thermostat. So if you need that as well, it's out there. So definitely take a look at the website. And I will say one little gotcha that I have. So all of these little smart thermostats in our house are connected 1-to-1, which means 1 thermostat, 1 in-wall heater, or 1 baseboard heater there, which is nice. Now, specifically, if it's radiant, convector, or baseboard heatings, there's different restrictions. You want to definitely read it. And since we are using the fan-forced convectors, the ones that are pumping air out of the walls, they're not my favorite there, but they're there. It can only control 1 of those at a time because of the power and amounts that go through that are required. So 1 of these are connected to each. Now, this is great because 5 out of 6 are 1-to-1, but there is 1 thermostat upstairs that actually controls 3 of the different forced fans convectors. So unfortunately, out of the box, that isn't going to work. There are ways of doing 24-volt, like different things. And the team sent me some information on Twitter /X, and that was really nice. It's a little bit out of my wheelhouse as far as my comfort level goes. For now, we'll see if we go there, but 5 out of 6 ain't bad. And the upstairs stays pretty warm in the winter as well. So it's good to know some of the things, but I've really dived through all of the Sinope website, the support area. It's been really good. And they've been super responsive when I ask questions online as well. So that is my recap. I got to say, I obviously super love them. I have enjoyed making this video. I don't make very smart device videos often, but I've loved this. I've loved the working and looking at the application. I've loved buying more devices, and I love upgrading the devices in the house. Of course, I'm very comfortable doing some of this work myself. Of course, always, if you're very uncomfortable, or just always recommend getting a certified electrician. So that way you don't cause damage to yourself or to your house. But as far as what I've done, I've enjoyed putting them together, streamlining the process, and it's been a joy. Thanks to Sinope, of course, for sending me the devices. I didn't ask for them. They just decided to send me some, which was really, really nice. I really appreciate it. And now I've bought way more than they could have ever sent me, and I'll probably buy more in the future. If you've enjoyed this video, if you have any questions about the Sinope devices at all, put them down in the comments. I'd really appreciate that. I love answering them. Or if I can't answer them, I'll try to have the team answer them. That's over there. I'll reach out to them as well and see if they're interested in answering some of those questions. And then, of course, if you like this channel, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I do a lot of development stuff, but maybe you're into development stuff too. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, because I put out different tech reviews and, of course, coding different videos right here on my YouTube channel. Well, thank you so much. I know this has been a long one, but I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great day, and thanks for watching. Okay, I'm actually going to finish this video, but if you made it around to this very end, I have a very special announcement. Because even though this video has been done for a while and I was getting ready to upload it, I was like, I'm going to reach out to the good folks at Sinope to see if they could provide a coupon code for all of you. And they said, yeah, of course, that'd be great. They sent me these great devices to review and do this video on. Really appreciate it. And of course, really awesome to work with them to offer y'all an exclusive discount. Now, I put links to the Sinope website and, of course, to all the Amazon links too. Now, if you decide to buy it through the Sinope website directly from them, they're giving all of you $15 off every order of $100 or more. All you got to do is use coupon code JM15, JM15. So the JM, the number 1, the number 5. I put it in the show notes below so you can check out all that. And this is good until November 19th, 2023. So in the next month or so, if you're interested in picking up some of these devices, $15 off every order of $100 or more. So give them a look. And thanks to Sinope for sending me all these products, for offering up these discount codes. And I'm actually going to get out of here. So thanks y'all for watching.